Welcome back to another edition of Atomic Diecast. And today I'm going to cover a recent treasure hunt car, and it's the Fish and Chipped or Fished and Chipped from Hot Wheels. And it's a car that I've wanted ever since I saw photos come out online in late 2024. The thing is, I failed to realize it was a treasure hunt. So one day I'm at my local Safeway, and they got a display of new Hot Wheels cars, and there's two of these sitting right on the front of the display box, and I liked them. I bought both. I got home, I opened one, and sure enough, there's a treasure hunt logo on under the car on the card. And of course, had I looked closer at the car's tempos, I would have clearly seen that there was a treasure hunt logo. Anyways, it was a nice surprise. I left the other one in the box, and the one you see here is the one I opened. The Fished and Chipped casting dates way back, all the way to 2003. And for whatever reason, I've only acquired a couple of these versions in the past 22 years, and they've done a bunch of them, probably at least, I don't know, 20 iterations of this casting. And to be honest with you, I forgot all about it. And I actually thought that this was going to be a new casting for 2025. I'm not sure why that is, because I've always liked the design. And I have an Excel file where I can go back and look at every car that I've got in my collection. It's the only way that I can keep track of what I have and what I don't have. And sure enough, I've got some Fish and Chip. Like I said, only a couple from years past. Anyways, enough about that. Fished and Chipped was a Fraser Campbell creation, and there's a unique story around this. He always wanted to do a classic Jaguar, and the problem was in 2003 when he had this idea, Hot Wheels did not have any licensing rights to the brand. And that's when co-designer Wayne Scott got involved, and he suggested they just basically customize an old Jag and make it so different than the original that it would get around the licensing. And so what they did is they based this casting on a 1963 Jaguar Mark 10. They did it as a two-door, though, which did not exist in 1963. So, again, they're really deviating quite a bit from the original car, and hence the licensing wasn't a problem. What they did beyond just the two-door edition is they lowered it over the wheels, and then they chopped the roof, and hence the name Fished and Chipped. Now, that's British terminology for those types of customizations, and I had never heard of that. I mean, in America, we just call it chopped and channeled, but I guess in Britain, it's fished and chipped. With respect to this car, I do like the brown and tan two-tone. I think it's really nice. I'm not a fan of brown in general, but on this car, I do like it. As for the paint itself, Hot Wheels did an okay job spraying it. It's not great. It's not bad either. Unlike super treasure hunts, normal treasure hunts don't get any special treatment. They basically are painted and tampoed and put together just like any other mainline. The only difference is they're done so in smaller quantities. There is a dimple on the rear trunk lid. You can probably see it when it comes around. It's right in the middle. It's not a huge deal. The unboxed version of this that I have does not have the dimples, so this appears to be a one-off flaw. They did three-side tampoing, just like you'd expect on any mainline. The doors got seal edges and vents. There's the Hot Wheels logo on the front quarter panel, and then right underneath that is the Treasure Hunt symbol, which again, I don't know how I missed that when I first saw pictures of it late last year. The hood also received a center line, hence that's the third edge, or I should say side, that got tampoing. And it's a nice touch. It's just like the last car I did was a 66 Riviera. They had that hood centerline stripe, and I think it makes the nose look a lot sleeker on this car. Mattel used L4 wheels, and if you recall, the 67 Lotus that I covered last week had L4 wheels. It seems like they're starting to use those more. They came out in 2023, and I like them. I think they look pretty classy on this car and mix well with the overall design. The Fished and Chipped Treasure Hunt has a model code of JBC21, but that's not marked on the Zamac base. I'm not sure why. There's a ton of room under there. It's a really long car, but they did not put the model code on there. The good news is they did give us a metal base. The bad news is the body's plastic. I don't know why they did that. Apparently, they switched over to plastic on Fished and Chip back in like 2020 with one of their 5-pack cars. Anyways, when I weighed this thing, it only came in at 29 grams, which is really light for something this size. I think had the body been metal with a Zamac base, this thing probably would have weighed closer to 40 grams. I don't know if that's going to play into how this thing rolls or not, but weight is usually a good thing when trying to get down the track. So we'll do a roll test next. All right, let's do a roll test. This car, again, is light at 29 grams, and it's also very, very low to the ground. And my experience has been the lower the car is, the worse it rolls, probably due to drag on either the rear bumper, any part in which it transitions into a curve edge on the track. So let's try it. Maybe it'll do better than I thought. Yeah, it gets stuck. It pulls to the left for one, so there's wheel shake. But it seems to get to the half track and then bottom out. And again, that's due to the fact it's so low. We'll try it again. Yeah, about 2.5. You can hear the wheel shake. There's quite a bit. And the last one, yeah, a little past 2. So it's average. It's a cool car. I really like the design, and I like the fact that it sits low. So if I had to give up its ability to roll down a track to have a nice stance, I'd take the latter. So thanks for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe.